Hey guys, welcome to our kitchen. Today we're going to be making homemade mayo. I know there's an egg shortage right now, but we actually have a lot of abundance of eggs right now with our chickens laying. So we decided we're going to go ahead and use some of our eggs and make some mayo because that's kind of a thing that we like to do weekly. And then we also, with our abundance of eggs, we decided to actually bake about, a few dozen in the oven for the dogs. For the dog food that we make. So we'll get that kind of ready to go in the freezer. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into it and I'll take you through the step of making our mayo. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to separate your yolks into your whites. So we're going to use 3 egg yolks right into our nice little blender here. 3 egg yolks. And the next thing we're going to add is 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, fresh or in the bottle kind. We have a nice organic juice that we like to use. And then in this I also have 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. I like to use apple cider vinegar, just kind of depending on how sweet you want to make your mayo. With using a sweeter vinegar, I can get away with having to use more sugar, okay? Go ahead and just put that in right there. The next step we're going to do is we make our own Dijon mustards. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard to this. And it doesn't have to be like totally exact. I kind of like to put a little bit more in mine. Perfect. And then with that, we're going to use a teaspoon of sugar. Like 1, it kind of depends on how sweet you want it to be. So I'll do 1 and maybe a little bit more. Because you do have a lot of that lemon juice and that vinegar in there. Then we're going to go ahead and just kind of add about 1.5 teaspoons of our salt. And this is just a 1/2 teaspoon at a time. Perfect. A pinch of pepper. And we like pepper around here, so I just kind of like to put in about 1/4 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon I'd say. Go ahead and just kind of get this, kind of blend it up a little bit, make sure your blender's down. I kind of pulse a little bit so we get all over the sides, just to get everything incorporated. Perfect. Then depending on what you have, if you have a food processor or not, I kind of like to seal my 1 draining tube for my food processor, and then I use it for in my Vitamix here. It works pretty well. So this has a little hole in the bottom. The trick to mayo is you want to add the first bit of oil very slowly so it can kind of start emulsifying with those egg yolks. Don't dump it all in. You'll kind of see over time. I'd say I'm going to go about half of this, and this is like 1 2/3 cup. So I'll do maybe like 1/4 of it really, really slow, and make sure that mayo keeps thickening. So to get started, I'm going to put on my blender. Doesn't have to be on real high. And I'll just dump it right into my slow drain pour here. And you can fill her all the way up because it's just going to come out real slow. We'll let this drain and we'll kind of start emulsifying with your egg yolks. And we'll let it kind of do its thing. So after I kind of get through this, we'll be back. So now let it's been 1 to 2 minutes with our first draining of our oil into our mayo here. Once your oil starts to emulsify and kind of starts to thicken, and you can see that here, it's not splashing up the sides anymore, and it's making kind of like a bubbly sound. You can now go ahead and put in the remaining of your oil, okay? Which I kind of already did. And just let that hang out and do its thing for like maybe another minute until all the oil is drained in and it's all gotten into your mayo here and it's emulsified. And when we're done with that, we'll be back. So now that our oil is incorporated into our mayo here, you'll be able to kind of see what it's starting to look like. I'll go ahead and give you a close up here. It might get kind of loud. Nice. So once you kind of have that consistency and all your oil has been incorporated into there, you go ahead and turn off your blender. So through this process, you've probably been doing this for, I want to say, about 4 minutes, okay? Perfect. And as you can see, when I go to tip it, it's gonna be a little bit warm now, so it'll be a little runnier. Will set up in the fridge. Okay, so we got a nice yellow texture, and it's nice and thickened. All our oil has been emulsified in there and blended in. And then the next thing that you can do is, just in case you want to kind of get any final seasonings, more salt, more sugar, just give her a little taste test. And to me, that seems right. I like a little bit of the vinegar in there. It's not too sweet. So I'm just going to leave it just like that. So with that, go ahead. This recipe will yield about 2 cups of mayo, okay? So it really works well in a nice pint glass. And you just kind of make it fresh every week or however fast you go through it. We make lots of salads and dips. So this amount really does work pretty good for us. So I can always have nice fresh mayo every week. And it seems runny now, but like I said, once you put it in the fridge, it is going to thicken. Perfect. So go and find your container, put that mayo in there, and we'll be back. Okay, so here we have our completed mayo. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this in the fridge, let it kind of set up, and then I'll probably take it back out, and we're gonna make actually Thousand Island dressing with our gourmet brat sandwiches that we're gonna have tonight. Our brats that we get actually from pigs that we raise here on the homestead. So if you do like this, I will put a recipe in the description box below, and you can go there to find kind of what you need to do. So I hope you enjoyed, and go ahead and get out there and make your own homemade mayo at home for cheaper and better than at the store. Thanks, guys.